Welcome to another episode of the 100% podcast with me, your host, Harry Purdy. Today I am joined by a brand new guest, and we are speaking to another special guest who is one of my 100% clients. She's a half marathon runner. She's been with me over a year now in the program. Two little stints, and we've made some unbelievable progress during the last year together. Welcome to the show, Rebecca Jenkins. Just married. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That literally was one of the things I was worried about today's pod was I'm going to introduce you as the wrong Rebecca
name.
now. But
No.
I mean, you'd still answer to Wilkins, right?
Yeah. Every time.
Every time. even though I get annoyed at myself at the class when I'm like, come on, Wilkins, fuck's sakes, Jenkins. Yeah, there you go. So a year with me.
Yeah. Crazy.
Gone quick?
Yeah, I think it's gone quick.
Yeah.
But then I think it's with the progress you make.
Explain.
It's kind of that whole. I joined because I had goals, but I didn't have goals that I could achieve quickly. Not quickly. I could achieve myself. It needed that structure, and I didn't give myself that structure. I was like, I want to do that, but I didn't think, how are you going to do that?
We'll come on to the structure and talk about that and how I help you implement that shortly. But you've obviously, I say obviously, for the listeners' benefit, you came to me first with certain specific things you wanted to achieve. You did the 100% 100-day program first. Tell us about why you did that on its own first.
Well, it was like ages ago, wasn't it?
Long time ago, about 18 months now, yeah.
Well, I think it was just around about when I was going to go on holiday, and I felt I'd lost a decent amount of weight, and that's when I'd finished with that PT.
Herbalife PT, hashtag Herbalife.
I can't remember if I'd just finished with her or if she was finishing. And then I had made good progress with her, and I had lost a decent amount of weight, and I was feeling good.
Funny that.
No, I wasn't on Herbalife. Just to clarify, I wasn't on Herbalife. But that gave me the structure, and then when that kind of finished, I lost myself a little bit, and I needed a bit more structure to get back to actually achieving the goals, and not just initially it was just focusing on weight loss, but it isn't just weight loss, really.
Yeah, and there's something obviously I spout a lot about in the 100% program. When you say it's not just about weight loss, what have you learnt about yourself when you've been under my coaching remit?
So initially, when I just wanted to lose weight, I just wanted to lose weight, but I wasn't bothered how I was doing it, and it wasn't necessarily an enjoyable experience. It was like, right, you're going to do this for 6 weeks, and then after that 6 weeks, you're just going to go back to your old ways and just do your own thing. Whereas when we'd been working together, it was like, right, what do you actually want to do? And it was like, say, like focusing on the half marathon. I was like, right, okay, well, we'll focus on that. And with that came some weight loss, not masses, but I realised that weight loss wasn't actually not what I wanted, but I wanted to achieve things along the way, not just be valued for, oh yeah, you've lost weight. Kind of just been like, actually, you've done this as well, and that's pretty cool.
Would you say that during the time under Harry Purdy coaching, you've fallen more in love with the process around fitness and losing weight then?
Yeah, definitely, because I started at the gym when we were in like year 11 at school. So we went to the one attached to school, and then I just carried on, but it was all a bit free and it wasn't focused on anything. It was just doing whatever I wanted kind of thing. No focus, just purely cardio and the occasional weight machine. And then when I moved gyms, and when I got quite a bit older, it was just a slightly better gym than what I was in, and I was enjoying it more, but again didn't have that end goal purpose. And then I'd say once we joined up again, it was kind of like, oh, actually there is more to it than just turning up every time for like 4 times a month. If you make that consistent effort, you'll actually make some consistent progress and be able to achieve things that you never thought you could achieve. Like, I hated running. Like, all growing up, I hated running. I didn't like it. But then actually focusing in on it has made such a difference. And I would almost say I prefer running than standard gym work.
Yeah. When it comes to the running side of things then, I think just in a general conversation, because we want to give like general value as well, apart from just talking about the program. Do you think, for me, I hated running because I wasn't fit enough to do it?
Definitely.
Yeah. Is that something that when you get fitter, it then becomes more achievable, and then you're like, oh, it ain't too bad?
Yeah, I think looking at myself back then, I would very much visually, I didn't look like I was a runner. I'm not saying now I look like a stereotypical runner by any means, but I feel like I look like I can run a little bit.
You know what you're doing.
I know what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
don't feel as out of place. But actually, I don't think you have to look like a runner. Like, there's a lot of people I know that run that don't look stereotypically like a runner, but are insanely quick and really good at it because they've been consistent with it.
And that's one of the main points that I would give you credit for. I don't mind bigging up Becky on the podcast today. The mindset shift that I've seen in you over 18 months compared to at the start, it was very nothing wrong with it. It was very basic in regards to what you wanted to get out of it and how you were feeling and stuff. And there's been loads of different challenges that we've took on together, whether that be physical, mental, and like even emotional ones over the last 18 months that we've handled and we've worked through. But even your work ethic now, which sounds, when you come and train and when you go out and train and when you commit to something, you are all in.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something that's been new, or has that always been in there? You've just not really known how to utilize it the best?
I would say if it's something I'm interested in and I want to do, then I'll go all in on it. If it's something that someone says to me, "Oh, can you do this?" and I haven't got the interest in it, I'm not putting everything into it. But then I'd say linking it slightly back to being at school. I hated school. I hated everything about the learning. But there was like a few things that happened. I was told I was unteachable by an English teacher. Well, yeah, I go to uni. I go to uni and then get diagnosed with dyslexia, and you kind of go, okay, well, was that it? But someone says that to you, you're like, well, I don't really care. Don't get me wrong, I came out of school okay, but then I went and did my level 3 childcare and enjoyed it and put everything into that. Then I did my degree in it, put everything into it, and it's like my job. I put everything into it because I love it and I enjoy it. It's like with the running, I not learned to love it, but I became to love it.
Fell in love with the process.
Yeah,
again,
that's generally what it was. And once you love something and you're invested in it, I will give it everything.
Compare you to 18 months ago, maybe 2 years ago. What are the main differences in you now?
I'm definitely more of a positive person. I was positive anyway.
Let's fucking go.
But I'm definitely am more positive. I almost wind some people up.
Yeah, nice.
Because I'm like,
Good.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Challenge
it's hard,
those
but
beliefs.
it's okay. And then
Give us an example of where that's shown. You don't have to like be specific, like somebody died and you're like, wait.
This is not fine.
But
no, I would say. So there was situations that happen at work, for instance, like they're hard. I'm working with kids. We're all working with the kids at work. And there are some days that are really, really hard, but it's just you naturally start to deflate because you're hungry, you're tired, you're thirsty, whatever, but you just got to keep going. But I'm like, it's all right, guys. Don't worry about it. We keep going. And then you can see everyone's like, do you know what? You're really annoying because it is all right, but it's just annoying that you've said it.
But it's like, really...
That's what it's like, though.
One thing that's really interesting about human psyche and the way people act anyway, people do fall back into the mentality quite quickly. And I think around self-awareness and stuff, which is obviously what I try and create with the journal, with things that I talk about, with how I get you to think about yourselves and implementing habits, is that actually when little bumps in the road do come up, whether it be with relationship or even your dieting or your motivation, whatever it is, you go, okay, let's just take one step back, have a real big look at the picture, and then we kind of make a decision from there.
Yeah, definitely. Because even like, say those situations at work happen at 2 o'clock, I'm like, right guys, we've got an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We can do an hour and a half. We've done since like 7:30 this morning. We can definitely make it an hour and a half.
Yeah. Why did you choose me as a coach?
I think, no, for me, a relationship with someone is massive. If I don't feel I get on with someone, it's not going to work anyway.
Sure.
No, so knowing you previously made a massive difference. Seeing your journey from being where you were to where you are now was like you've seen pictures of me way pre when I even started doing anything. And I was big, but there was like one photo of me at that point. And then seeing your journey, I was kind of like, actually, that's quite cool. And actually, there's something, if he can do it, I can do it. It's being relatable.
Yeah. But inspiration as well, or?
Would you like me to say you're an inspiration?
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm just saying.
No, I think it is. Seeing someone's journey, it is inspirational, especially when you can relate it to yourself.
Yeah, perfect. Amazing. And if somebody's on the fence then, and they've dropped me a message recently, and they've seen the progress that you've made, your friend Hannah's made, and they're still not quite sure, what would you say to them about Harry Purdy and 100% coaching community?
I'd just say definitely go for it. It is worth it. People always look at something for like a monetary value, but I think you've got to take the monetary value out of it and think it's a short-term investment for long-term gains in everything. And being relatable, you treat everyone as a person and not a number, because I think that's massive. A lot of people do just go, yeah, okay, how many people can I get on, and then just send out the same stuff. It's not as personal, and you're just always there, and that makes a massive difference.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I think obviously we're on a business chat, which is it's hard at times because I do have multiple amount of people that want really different things, and multiple amount of people that are at different levels now. And and again, I don't mind bigging you up. You are literally like, if I was to use an advertisement of somebody that here's what you can achieve from being in my coaching, you are that person. You've gone from lacking confidence, lacking belief that you can do something to proving that you can. And I talk about the cellophane ceiling analogy. You are definitely somebody that's done that. You didn't think at one point you could run a 5k. You climbed the ladder to the ceiling, did the work essentially, got to the cellophane ceiling that said 5k and popped your head through it and was like, oh fuck, I can do a 5k. And then it obviously went 10k, and then you've done your half marathon, the first one. Talk to me about that experience and how it helped you get to that half marathon stage.
So one of my initial first goals, there's a hill locally that...
Tell me about which one?
Hollow Lane.
Oh yeah?
And that hill, every time, I literally, when growing up, I lived on the hill.
Yeah.
There's no way I'd run up it. I struggled to walk up it. And that was an initial goal, was like, I'm going to run up that hill.
Yeah, amazing.
And then I put it off and put it off and put it off. And then one day you were like, you're just going to do it. And I was like, okay. So I literally took my stuff to work with me, got changed. And after work, I was like, right, we're just going to just go for it. And then I did it. And I was so proud.
I remember that message. I honestly do remember that message. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was like massive, because it is a hill. It's not a small hill by any means.
One steep hill.
But it is that whole, I just had that belief that I could actually do it and not just be like, it's too much. So I'm just going to knock jib out of it.
Yeah. During my ultra training, I'd run up that hill, then go into the valley.
Yeah.
Opposite, go down, and then up to the right. And that, that was, that used to suck. But it was obviously really worth it and really realistic in comparison to the Jurassic Coast. But this isn't about me. This is about you. In terms of the mentality towards long distance running and endurance running, then how did I help you with that?
I think so. Going back to the Hollow Lane thing, I never thought I could do that, but you telling me you can do it, for one, it is just a hill, get over it. And that was a part of a route I was going to have to get over to train for it locally because of where I live, unless I wanted to drive out. Mentally thinking, you can do that hill. Okay, built me the confidence to go, okay, I'm going to try another route. And I hadn't been on that route before. I was just like, I'm just going to do it. And then when I was actually doing the half marathon, I was kind of like, I've got no idea where I am. Because genuinely at some points, I had no idea where I was. I hadn't looked at the route or anything. I was literally just like, it'll be all right, whatever, it's
Weymouth,
okay. Weymouth, it's okay. And then, because once you start leaving Weymouth, I was like, I've got no idea where I am now.
When you go up around, you see Portland and stuff.
No idea where I was. None. And then, but having done that whole, you can do it, just go out and run, just do it. You can finish it, was all I had in my head. On
the day of the half marathon, even though you'd done all that training and we'd programmed you for 8, maybe even longer than that, 12 weeks before?
Yeah, I think a bit longer.
Yeah. Did you have those doubts?
Oh, when I woke up that morning down Weymouth and it was raining, I opened the blind and then literally got back into bed and I was like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of like, you can do it, you can do it. And it took me ages to psych myself up. But I literally was, right, do you want to do this or not? Because if you say no, you don't want to do it, you're going to regret massively everything you've put into it. And there's no reason why you can't do it, because you can do it.
Amazing. And then tell me about the feeling when you crossed the finish line.
Oh, that was absolutely mental.
13.1 miles.
Yeah, I felt amazing.
Yeah.
Literally amazing. And it was like Mum and Dad and Hannah and Scott's family stationed themselves like all the way along, and I didn't know where they were going to be. They just pop up every now and then shouting at you. And then as I went out to Portland, we like lost them all, and I was kind of like, I felt really lonely, and that was the point where I was like, you've got to really like mentally push yourself here, because there's no one there that's going to be like, go on, you can do it. That's going to shout your name. No one knows who you are. Coming back into Weymouth and seeing them, and then seeing them as you run up, and then you loop back round. when I saw them on the run up. There's a video, and I overtook like 6 people at that point where I saw mum and dad just shouting.
Almost like you had like
And
loss.
I was like, just keep going. Look, they're here again. And then finishing it, I could have cried, I think, because it was something that, thinking back to me, say like primary school, secondary school, never ever.
Why didn't you cry?
Why? I don't really cry.
Every big thing I finish, I cry.
I don't really cry.
Ultra, London Marathon, I was a very teary but happy person for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
I don't really cry. Sorry.
No emotions.
I think I go quite speechless. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I was just stood there.
Humble.
Kind of like, yeah. I was like, I did
Love
that.
it.
I did that.
Yeah. I definitely would say I've noticed a little bit of a shift in you, if you don't mind me saying as well, since that moment. Because if I was to go mindset on you, which you know I love to do, all of those things you've spoken about there, we've built a belief in you, or even smashed one. Those limiting beliefs of I don't think I can run Hollow Lane. I was like, as you say, get over yourself. A little bit blunt about it. You've got to take it on at some point. So why not now? And you literally went, fuck you, negative belief. Like and then you messaged me, say you've done it, and then putting the work in. Of course, you like some people are blessed that they could probably get up out of bed in the morning and go and run a half marathon.
Yeah, aren't they lucky?
Yeah, very lucky. But most people, 99% of people, have to put the work in to be able to run that distance without stopping. And we put the work in. You gave yourself every chance to get that belief at the end of that 13.1 miles, and you did it. There's no small feat to be, as I'm fully aware, to be a bigger person and go and achieve that kind of thing. And would you say that you've noticed a shift in your confidence since you've achieved that?
Oh yeah, massively.
Proved you can do hard shit.
Yeah, and I think it's slightly different but slightly similar, I guess. So even at parkrun, before I'd start nearer the back, then I crept up to nearer the middle when I was doing like the half marathon training if I did some. But then like the other weekend I was like, sod this. And I didn't go in the front because we're not quite those kind of people.
What? Where was this?
At parkrun.
Oh yeah. But then you get stuck behind the people with the walking sticks.
And then I was like, right, do you know what? You can go near the front. And I did it, and I just I'm a runner now. Sorry, guys. No, I've actually felt confident to do that, and there's no way I would have felt confident to do that before. It was just that I'll go to the back because that's where I belong, not a case of that's where I want to be.
Yeah, amazing. That's so good. And as well as that, touching on the fact of I would sometimes call you out, and still do call you out on some things that you. Yeah, you like it, don't you? You get called out on maybe beliefs, structures, things that you say you can't do. And if I see that, not that you've done something wrong, because that's not what coaching is about, but if there's something not quite aligning with what you're saying, I'm not scared to tell you. Is that, like, would you say that's something I get the balance right with? Yeah,
for me, that's quite important. Don't try and fluff things around me. I am a fluffy person, don't get me wrong, but when I need to be told you can do that better, I need to be told you can do that better. Don't say to me, oh yeah, you did a really good job.
Yeah.
Because if I haven't, I need to be told that as a person. But I think you get that balance right anyway.
How do I get that balance right?
I think you read the room well. You read the room, you read the mood, you read how I'm feeling as a person. And then it might be that you go, yeah, right, you had a good try, rather than, yeah, you did a good job. Because they're two very different. It's the same language, but it's different. It's like, yeah, you tried, not you did a good job. For me personally, that's very different.
I think that links to the whole, I did just to let people know, I did the motivation. You've not seen it yet, have you? I've done a July masterclass for my clients on motivation. And there's a difference between failing and being a failure, is one of the key points, giving you a spoiler there. And I do believe that a lot of people's struggles with motivation is because they miss a day and they think that's completely the whole thing fucked. Or they've missed, 30 grams of their protein, or they've missed the training session or whatever. And then they're like, oh, bollocks to it. I'm not bother anymore, because they think they've failed. But failing once doesn't mean that the rest of your journey is a failure. And I think it's really important from a coach's perspective. If I've got somebody like yourself who's gone from the 100-day program where you initially were learning all of the habits, which now you've pretty much got them all down to a T.
Yeah.
Sometimes need a little bit of a reminder to, if you're struggling with certain bits and bobs, to do certain things, especially the journal. I think that's really important that we
I'm
speak
getting
about.
there.
But yeah. We'll speak about that as well. But without that sense of reminder, really, that I feel like this because I've not done this, or I've failed, but it doesn't mean that I completely stop. It just means I get another opportunity to try again. Is the difference between staying motivated forever and giving up completely.
Definitely.
In terms of the journal, it's been a it has like I don't mind you being honest about it. It's been a bit of a challenge
Yeah.
for you to include that in your life. When you do use it, what benefits do you get?
So I find initially I didn't like it, but I think that goes back to English at school,
Yeah.
writing something down. I don't do that. I don't do it. I don't like
the
it.
piss taker in me wants to come out right now, but it's fine. We're gonna leave. Box him up.
But that's where it comes from. So as soon as someone says to me, write that down on a piece of paper, I'm like, absolutely not. But actually, when I got over myself and was like, this isn't English at school, this is something completely different. Just think about it. And literally, I think the first time I did it, I was like, right, just do the first question. Ignore the rest. It doesn't matter.
How do you want to feel today?
Yeah. I was like, we'll just do one question and then tomorrow, if you want to do two questions, well, you're going to do one question tomorrow, but if you want to do two, you're going to do two. And I gradually built it up. But I find it more beneficial when, for instance, I'm on like half terms or holidays from work because I lose all my structure.
Yeah.
For me, that's like so hard. Having that actually, although I set my goals daily anyway, doing that, writing it down in the half terms and holidays is massive for structure for me.
Yeah, unreal. That's so good to hear as well. And fundamentally, a person without a plan has and a destination gets lost, right? You get
Definitely.
lost in on the waves of life and stuff. Your habits that you maintain now, constantly getting steps in, constantly talking about the amount of protein you're getting, constantly updating me with different recipes that you're going to try and all those kind of things. What are the key things that you would say in all of the time that you've learnt from me that you probably would never stop doing now in terms of your own health and well-being?
I would say a non-negotiable for me is some form of movement during the day. I know I've got a dog, obviously, so that is slightly easier for me than other people because he needs to go for a walk. So I have another reason. But the other day I had parents' evening at work and it was a case of, right, it's already been walked, but I needed to go for a walk because I hadn't done anything all day other than run around after like 20 kids.
Yeah.
But I was like, right, I'm going out, and I literally just went out for a walk. That and my morning routine, that's pretty embedded now, and I can't.
Tell us about it.
All right, it's the most boring. It's not an exciting routine.
Doesn't matter.
So mine is literally, I get up, I have to make the bed, and I have to open the bedroom windows. I have to do that before I leave the bedroom. And then once it's downstairs, I have to have a glass of water before I do anything.
Perfect.
I don't actually have a cup of tea first thing in the morning now. That is something that I'll have at like 10:30, 11 will be my first cup of tea. And then it's breakfast and then some form of movement.
Nice.
That's like non-negotiable. Whether that is taking the dog for a walk or going to the gym or going for a run or something, I have to do something first thing in the morning.
One more?
Or something I wouldn't ever get rid of.
Yeah, or something that you have now got in your routine thanks to working with me.
I think it's prioritizing yourself.
Ooh, nice.
That I think is something that I never did. I was very much a people pleaser. I still am a people pleaser to a degree. I don't think you ever lose that. But I'm better now at prioritizing. Do you know what? I need some time out for me. Right, even if it's like I'm going to have a bath and you're going to leave me alone, whatever. Or it's, do you know what? I'm not replying to those messages today. Or I mean, it's quite rare that any of that really happens. But when I need it, and I'll do it.
You were never really a person that came to me with deep mental health issues that you needed to work on, but there was definitely some confidence issues and a little bit of, if you don't mind me saying, like self-worth issues in regards to how you felt about yourself doing some things which related to everything, right? Fitness and how, like you say, being a people pleaser. How have I helped you conquer that?
I think so. Those, you say I didn't have like the mental health side of it.
Yeah.
There was stuff that's crept up throughout my whole life, especially when I had like the epilepsy diagnosis. My self-worth was like rock bottom, and I lost a lot of friends at that point. So for me then, I became that people pleaser where I was like, if I please people, they'll stay around me and it'll be fine. But by being with you, it's that whole other people's opinions of you doesn't make you a better person. Your opinion,
or a worse person,
yeah,
right?
your opinion of yourself is essentially all that matters, and how you contribute towards someone needs to be valuable. Otherwise, what's the point? That's me as a person now. I'm kind of like, if you're going to contribute to me and I can contribute to you and it's positive, then I'm quite happy to have you in my life. But if I'm contributing to you and you're contributing nothing to me, then I am quite now, you're not a priority to me.
Yeah, I love
then
it.
I can't prioritize myself.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
And it's important, definitely important. Saying no to people, having boundaries that people can't cross, really important, especially for the whole self-confidence and self-worth thing. Final, a couple more questions for you before we wrap things up. I know the wedding was important to you, and how you looked, which of course is every bride's dream to feel good in their wedding dress. And you obviously chose that wedding dress for a reason. But when you put it on, when you first tried it on, to compare to when you wore it, how different did you feel?
Oh, it was mental. So the first time I tried it on, it didn't fit, it didn't do up at the back. And she said to me, we can put panels in or we can put a corset in the back. And I did not want either of those options. But that wasn't the reason why I lost the weight. I just didn't want it, but I didn't think about it. I was just kind of like, okay, I don't want it, but if it happens, it happens. Because I feel like me as a person, that was a thought process I used to have. Well, if it happens, it happens, whatever. I don't want it to happen, but we move on. And then I loved it, the dress. I really did. And it originally, we put like a belt on it with like a sparkly belt and stuff.
Nice.
And then when I went to try it on for the first fitting, she literally just zipped it up straight away. And it worked out that I'd lost 5 inches off my back. No need for any alterations, nothing. And I was like, at that moment, we almost had tears of, I think, almost relief of oh my gosh. And then we took the belt away. And when I was talking to the lady, she was like, we put the belt there to help your confidence, to take your awareness of, say, like your tummy or your back or your all of that, take that awareness out so you would focus in on something else. But we didn't have the belt in the end because we didn't need it, because I felt good.
Fucking cool, innit?
Yeah.
In total, do you remember how much weight over your journey? And it's really important to say that we know it's not all about weight loss, and you've achieved loads of different things under the HP umbrella. But what is the total now?
I think it's more. I think I worked it out. It's only about 5 or 6 pounds.
Wow. But composition,
my body shape and everything is mental. How much has changed?
That is nuts. And that just shows that relationship with the scales is irrelevant. When you're putting your focus on protein, training with resilience, staying fit, having set goals in place. I mean, the process works, right?
And it was that I put the scales away, because every week when you send the form, you're like, put your weight on. And I was like, I didn't get the scales out. I didn't do it, because I very much started viewing it as, I don't need that to make me feel better as a person.
And you're not the only one that doesn't do it.
No, and I think previously when I've tried to lose weight, when you've done the standard diets, it's like, right, weigh in every Friday. And you hear stories about people who, if it's weigh day on Friday and it's at 6 o'clock in the evening, they're not eating anything all day and they're not drinking anything all day because they want those scales to go down. And I was like, I almost got into that mindset when I was doing it previously, and I don't want that life.
I personally, when I'm aiming to lose body weight and body fat, I'll weigh every day. Now I can monitor my fluctuations, and it becomes less about what the scales are doing, but just whether they're moving in the right direction over a course of time rather than on a weekly basis. Because like you say, you could not drink and eat for 12 hours before you're weighing, and the scales are going to show that you've lost weight when probably you haven't. Becky, final question. What is the best bit of advice that you've ever been given?
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to school.
Yeah.
And it was my maths teacher. And
Stick to numbers, not writing.
Yeah, well, hang on, because
No,
it's
sorry.
about to get worse. Because when I was retaking my first maths GCSE for the third time on my own, because no one else was retaking it for the third time, he said to me, we spent loads of time together after school, and he was literally like, right, are you going to do this? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, right, if you, how was it? He said he basically said, no one else can do this for you, only you can do it. And then as I've got older, the more and more I think about that in everything. No one else was going to complete my coursework at uni. I had to do that. No one else was going to make me eat better. I had to do that. No one else was going to make you drink less alcohol. You've got to do that. Everything. So I guess that, and I just apply that to everything now.
Lush. I think what I've noticed about doing these little pods with my clients and people who have had success within my coaching is it makes me feel good, number one, but it's just amazing to go over the stories and the achievements that you've done. It's been really nice to review that, and I just want to put it on record and say I really fucking think you've smashed the last 12 months of your life. I'm looking forward to what you can achieve moving forward. I know you've got a few things in mind, and I have really, really appreciated having you as a client and have appreciated having you on the show today as well. I know it's probably a bit out of your comfort zone, but you smashed it, so thank you.
All right. No worries.
If you have enjoyed today's episode with Becky, please go over and drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, hi, give them a wave. Yeah, please click the like and subscribe button below. It goes a long, long way to helping the old algorithm-y thing. And if you have listened to today's episode with Becky and I, and you are interested in coming on board the 100% program with me, Harry Purdy, as your coach, to take on running challenges, mindset challenges, mental health challenges, and weight loss challenges, whatever you want to do, or all of the above, just drop me a DM on Instagram, Harry Purdy Official, saying coaching, and I'll send you over all of the information. I'll see you here with a new episode every Friday. Take care.